What if I told you some of the people who look the richest are actually the closest to going broke? The luxury car, the designer clothes, the expensive dinners, the vacations all over social media. From the outside, it looks like success. But behind the scenes, a shocking number of people are buried in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and one emergency away from financial disaster. And the worst part is most of them are spending so much energy trying to look wealthy that they never actually become wealthy. That's the trap nobody warns you about, because fake wealth is loud. Real wealth usually isn't. The people performing success want you to notice everything: the watch, the car, the brands, the lifestyle. But what you don't see are the monthly payments, the credit card balances, the stress, the anxiety, and the constant pressure to maintain an image they can barely afford. And if you don't understand this early, it's very easy to spend years chasing a lifestyle that quietly destroys your financial future. Think about it like this. Fake rich behavior is basically a financial treadmill. You're constantly running, constantly exhausted, constantly trying to keep up appearances. But financially, you stay in the exact same place. Meanwhile, someone else driving a normal car, wearing simple clothes, and living below their means is quietly building savings, buying assets, and creating freedom. Same effort, completely different direction. And once you understand that difference, the way you look at money changes forever. The first sign someone is faking wealth is simple. They always have an excuse. Every failed business, every opportunity that disappeared, every project that collapsed, it's never their fault. The economy ruined it. Their business partner betrayed them. The timing was bad. Somebody else messed everything up. But here's the reality. Setbacks happen to everyone. Markets crash for rich people too. The difference is that people who actually build wealth treat failure like information. They adapt, they learn, they adjust and keep moving. Fake rich people turn excuses into a lifestyle. Eventually, they spend more energy protecting their ego than fixing the actual problem. The second sign is one of the most common financial mistakes on earth: financing liabilities and calling it investing in yourself. Someone takes out a massive loan for a luxury car. Someone else puts designer clothes on a credit card while making minimum payment. They justify it by saying things like, you have to look successful to become successful. But what they're really doing is paying interest on things that lose value every single day. Real wealth builders understand something most people ignore. You borrow money for assets, not appearances. A business that generates income? Different story. Equipment that helps you earn more money? Fine. But debt used to impress people is one of the fastest ways to stay broke while looking rich. And psychologically, this destroys people over time, because every monthly payment steals from your future income before you've even earned it. Your future self becomes trapped paying for your current self's insecurity. That's why so many people feel financially stuck even when they make decent money. Their paycheck already belongs to loans, subscriptions, credit cards, and status purchases they made trying to impress people who probably weren't paying attention in the first place. Another sign is people who constantly talk about big plans but never execute anything. They always have some huge opportunity coming soon, a new business, a new project, a new partnership. And every 6 months, the entire story changes. The last idea quietly disappears and gets replaced with another exciting announcement. Real wealth is usually built through boring consistency, long-term focus, repetition. But fake rich people become addicted to the dopamine of talking about success instead of building it. And there's a reason for that. Your brain rewards you when you publicly announce goals. You get validation before you've accomplished anything. So the announcement starts feeling like the achievement itself. That's why some people spend years talking about becoming successful while never actually building anything real. Meanwhile, the people quietly putting in work behind the scenes often look invisible until the results finally show up. Another massive giveaway is constant name dropping. Fake rich people always know someone important, someone powerful, someone famous. They want you to believe proximity equals success. But usually, they just met that person once or took a picture with them at an event years ago. Truly successful people rarely need borrowed status because they already have their own. They ask questions. They listen. They don't spend every conversation trying to prove importance. You'll also notice something else. Fake rich people usually can't hold a deep conversation about money. They know surface-level buzzwords. They repeat things they heard online. They sound impressive for maybe 30 seconds. But the moment you go deeper, cash flow, investing strategy, taxes, business margins, the conversation falls apart. Real financial knowledge is difficult to fake because It usually comes from experience. Someone who has actually built something understands the details because they've lived through the problems personally. Then there's the obsession with brands and logos. Fake rich people want everyone to know what they're wearing. Huge logos, flashy brands, expensive-looking everything. But real wealth often looks surprisingly quiet. High-quality clothes without obvious branding. Durable products that last years instead of trendy things that disappear next season. Because once someone becomes secure in themselves, they stop needing brands to communicate value for them. And underneath all of this is one core issue: validation. Almost everything fake rich people do has an audience in mind. The purchases, the vacations, the social media posts, it's all performance. They're constantly trying to prove something. But when your identity depends on external validation, the performance never ends. There's always another upgrade to buy, another post to make, another person to impress. It becomes exhausting. Real wealth creates peace. Fake wealth creates pressure. One of the biggest ironies is that people who talk nonstop about money often have the least of it. Every conversation becomes about price tags, expensive purchases, or how much money they're about to make, because money isn't just a tool to them, it's their entire identity. Meanwhile, people with actual wealth usually spend more time talking about ideas, experiences, health, family, and long-term goals. Money matters to them, but it isn't the only thing that defines them. You also notice fake rich people constantly trying to one-up everyone around them, tell them good news, and somehow they immediately redirect the conversation back to themselves. You got a raise? They got a bigger one. You bought something nice? They bought something more expensive. It comes from insecurity. Truly successful people aren't threatened by other people winning because they understand something insecure people never do. Success isn't limited. And then there's the biggest financial red flag of all. They spend everything they make. No savings, no emergency fund, no investment, just constant consumption to maintain an image, which means when life inevitably goes wrong, a car repair, medical bill, job loss, emergency, they immediately fall into crisis mode. And when opportunities appear, they can't take advantage of them because they have no financial breathing room. That's the hidden power of savings most people underestimate. Savings don't just buy security. They buy options, the ability to survive emergencies without panic, the ability to say no to bad situations, the ability to take smarter risks. Financial breathing room changes the way you think, the way you make decisions, and the amount of stress you carry every day. Another thing you'll notice is fake rich people tend to surround themselves with other fake rich people. Entire friend groups built around spending money. They don't are trying to impress each other. Expensive restaurants, constant flexing, big talk, no real progress. Meanwhile, people quietly building wealth usually have completely different conversations. Less showing off, more learning, more accountability, more long-term thinking. And maybe the saddest sign of all is this: they experience life through their phone. Every dinner, every vacation, every moment becomes content instead of an experience. They're so focused on making their life look impressive that they forget to actually enjoy it. But isn't that the whole point of money in the first place? Freedom, peace, presence, the ability to enjoy your life without constantly performing it for strangers online. Now compare two people making the exact same income. One spends nearly everything on appearances, cars, clothes, dinners, status. The other saves consistently, lives slightly below their means, invests slowly, and avoids unnecessary debt. 5 years later, the difference becomes massive. One person looks rich but feels trapped. The other looks average but has real freedom, real savings, real stability, and far less stress. And that's the truth most people learn way too late. Wealth is not about looking successful. It's about building a life where money stops controlling every decision you make. So here's a simple challenge. Tonight, move some money into saving. Even if it's a small amount, start building financial breathing room instead of financial performance. Because real wealth isn't about what strangers see on the outside. Real wealth is having peace when nobody's watching. And if this video made you think differently about money, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more real-world financial psychology and no-fluff money habits that actually help people build stability instead of just looking successful.